Hello, welcome to the den. I'm just doing a bit of research on one of these tabletop games that we have lying around, which you can play. This is Stranger Things, Netflix Stranger Things, Attack of the Mind Flayer. And I've been going through the rules to try and understand it, and I figured it out. It's a really very simple, elegant game for between 4 and, wait for it, 10 players. If everyone sort of like turns up, we have a big go of this, then everyone gets to select their favourite character from Stranger Things. And look, they're all here. There's that guy. There's that kid. There's Elle. I know her. I'm not really that great in terms of knowing everyone. Isn't he Steve? No, I think so. He works in the ice cream shop and he's really cool, or not so cool. And then the nerdy one. And then, you know, the nerdy one's sister. So they're all here. You play one of the main characters, and that just sort of like sets you aside. Then you get a set of cards and you set up the deck according to how many players there are. And you have all these adventure cards, and it works kind of like this. Every turn you get to flip up a card from the deck, which has all been randomized. The number of Mind Flayer cards and the number of Waffle cards. Waffle cards don't really do anything, but they do score points in between games. So I think that's where they come in if you play more than one hand of this. But the Mind Flayer cards are sort of like critical. Each player with a Mind Flayer card is possessed until the end of the game, so it's random. Those who don't have a Mind Flayer card when they start are sane. And this game is about the sane versus the possessed, but you don't really know who's possessed. No one is allowed to talk to each other about what they have in their hand until the end of the game, when all is revealed. You shuffle all the remaining adventure cards and you give 3 face down to each player and they build up a deck. If you get 3 hard hit cards, look, their BMX bike has been bonked. If you get 3 of those, then you reshuffle the cards into the deck and throw 3 new ones, because you don't want to start out 3 hard hit cards. If you get 3 Mind Flayer cards, again, you are possessed and you secretly join the Mind Flayer team. Nobody knows who's in the Mind Flayer team, who is and who doesn't. Then your common deck is made up of the final adventure cards in 3 stacks face down, meeting cards, which you sort of like shuffle, randomly draw 3 and you put the others back in the box, and you make the deck up. On everyone's turn, everyone flips over the top card of the deck, puts it on the table, everybody can see it. If it's an adventure card, which look like this, they have a little map on, then you resolve it immediately. And you must give any other player still in play that adventure card. You can freely discuss with other players before making your decision. Hang on a minute, I've shown you the meeting cards, not the adventure cards. These are the adventure cards. They got these on them. It might be a memory, which helps counterbalance being mind flayered. If you get enough of those, you know, then you can become sane. If you are hard hit, then helping hands cancel that out as well and toughens you up. Or you might get a waffle, which doesn't really do anything but counts as points at the end of the game. And points win another go in the game. I don't know, I don't think you get any prizes. Right, so when you get a meeting card, that's these fellas. There we go, such as this one. And there's a whole stack of these. And the number in the deck depends on how many players you got. I presume you put more in the more players you got, so you got more meetings to have, because you have up to 3 meetings in the course of the game before you finally resolve who's possessed and who's on the Mind Flayer's team and who isn't, by means of growling at each other. Then you resolve it immediately. You take the meeting card if it sort of like comes up and you read it out. Let's take one at random. Here we go. I have got Wheeler's Basement. Oh, I like Wheeler. Count to 3. Then all players point to someone. The player pointed at by the majority of players does not participate in the meeting. You choose between any tied players. You then have meetings. Now, in the meetings, all players still in play choose 2 cards from their hand. They give 1 to the player on the left, 1 to the player on the right. They're put under the character tiles. They're then shuffled around. Nobody's out to look at them. And then you pop them into your hand. The meeting ends and carries on. Now, during the meeting, only the Mind Flayer possessed players can give away Mind Flayer cards. Sane players must always keep them in their hands. When a player does not participate in a meeting, they are knocked out from a card effect or something like that. You ignore them and give your card to the next player. The meeting ends, the game continues, people picking up and resolving the cards. As soon as there are only 1 or 2 in play players, because you can get knocked out if you get hard hit enough and you haven't got enough helping hands to counterbalance it. And after the 3rd meeting is fully resolved, then all players count to 3. All the possessed players start creepily growling. Any sane players left in play must stand up immediately and applaud. Comme ça, you see? Oh, except for I should stand up, but I'm not going to do that because it will ruin the whole camera setup. At the end of the game, players on the winning team will gain a point plus 1 point for every waffle card that they have. After 3 games, the players with the most point is the ultimate winner, so you play in rounds. So, if there is at least 1 sane player non-possessed by the mind flayers in play, then all the sane players in play and knocked out, doesn't matter what state you're in, win that game. Otherwise, the possessed players on the mind flayers team, they win, whether they're in play or knocked out as well. So it's a team game. It's a bit of a mystery. You don't know who's who, so you're always trying to figure out who's on your side and who's not, and who to give cards to and everything, and what kind of cards they're giving. And you start to pick up on that by what cards you receive. And you're not allowed to talk to each other about that. And then after a series of 3 games, you work out which team wins. So that appears to be the guts of Stranger Things. A sort of competitive you versus the spooky possessed mind flayer team who might be sat right next to you. Oh, okay. Right, yeah, it's all good. I fancy a game of this. So you do know, sort of like, if you haven't already signed up to Gamers Unite, our directory, now's a good time. Membership is growing. And, we'll be putting on game evenings where you can play board games, quick fun ones like this, like Stranger Things, or any from our library, which you will see as I seamlessly pan over, is just over here. Look at all these fellas. And all the role-playing games will be hosting role-playing games for you. I believe what we're looking at the moment is something like Musketeers versus Cthulhu, for those who like the Cthulhu vibe and play out that campaign. And also we're thinking about putting together a bit of old school revivalist Morkborg, because we've got a few sets of those. It's a quick game to play. It's quick to roll up characters. It's really easy to get the hang of, and you get straight into the action. An old school sort of like dungeon crawl or sort of like nightmare mission in the world of Galgenbeck can be had very easily, and it's a lot of fun. Right then, I am going to pack this away, unpack another game, and start to get my head around it. Look forward to seeing you at Ragrut's Den. Cheerio, bye.